So after finally 2 years of staring at only this image, we finally got a lot, and I mean a lot of new stuff regarding Spider-Man 2 and its gameplay and its story and its trailer, and we are here and we are all for it. So what I'm going to be doing here for you guys is I'm going to be discussing about everything we just got. I'm going to also be telling you guys everything you probably need to know about what we got. So buckle your seats and let's get into it. Immediately off the bat, the trailer does start in a unique location, showing us, I'm assuming we're in a jungle with Kraven, and now Kraven is finally being shown after we all kind of knew he was in the game after a bit of voice lines from him in the first trailer. He's like, will someone finally give me a test and stuff, and we all assumed instantly it's Kraven, and now we actually finally get to see him and it's confirmed. Now what they're calling this is the Great Hunt Begins. Now setting the stage for their gameplay reveal, Kraven's hunters, a new enemy faction, are in pursuit of Connors, aka the Lizard, and Peter needs to stop him. We kick things off at Connors' home across the East River in Queens, one of the all-new playable and explorable boroughs we're introducing in Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Now, I'm pretty sure with Kraven, it's probably gonna just be the entirety of Spider-Man 3. If anyone played the Spider-Man 3 movie tie-in game, you will know that Kraven was in that game, and he was there to hunt down the Lizard as sort of just another prize of his. And this time it's happening again, but this time Peter has an actual reason to keep the Lizard, because apparently Harry is dying and Connors is the only one that can help them, but I'll get into that in a little bit. One thing I want to give praise to is the fact that this is all in-game cinematics, and it is astonishing how beautiful this looks like. I would assume that this is another just cinematic, but the fact that they said in-game cinematic is actually insane to me. The graphics are beyond beautiful. Now, as the trailer goes on, Kraven apparently takes 6 months to go to Queens. I'm assuming that's not actually what happens, it's just a bunch of cuts. Because, if I'm being honest with you guys, I'm seeing a lot of people on Twitter, they're like, oh, this is the beginning of the game. I really hope it is in the beginning of the game, because that would be very disappointing, and it doesn't look like it's gonna be the beginning of the game. So, I don't know why some people are saying it is, but hey, I guess if they're right, then I'm gonna look like a clown. But then we skip forward to Peter in Connor's house, and right off the bat, they wasted no time. Not only did they just start off with a banger with Kraven, but then immediately, and I genuinely was not expecting this. I thought we were just gonna be seeing the new advanced suit in action, but no, they literally just come out with the symbiote suit. Let's just start off with everything. I'm gonna get everything off my chest with this suit. First off, let's just start with the design. Easily the most controversial part about the whole game from what I'm seeing on Twitter. This is easily the most diverse thing that people are discussing on in the game, and a lot of that is for the reason that this suit looks like it has armor plating. Now I have a theory for it, but as of right now, judging it as how it looks like, me personally, I love it. I think not only did Insomniac make it look very kind of realistic and photo real, I think they actually went out of their way to add more details that we've never really seen on the black suit. If you look at things like the Tobey Maguire black suit, it was just the black suit over his main suit, which I get it, it's sick and it's nice and like, oh, it looked really, really, really cool. But this looks so much better. And even if you pause it frame by frame, you do see that Peter was wearing the advanced suit. If you see right here, he is wearing his advanced suit, but it appears that it just covers over it and it just makes its own form, and I think that's really sick. Give a little context on the symbiote suit. It basically takes the appearance of anything that the host is wearing, or it can make its own appearance. So as for this, it is making its own appearance. And bro, one thing that really is getting me bad that no one else is talking about is no one gonna talk that we finally have the original white emblem on it. Like, do you guys realize how long it has been since we've had a game that actually had the white emblem on it, except for like Midnight Suns, even though I don't count it because like it's not a Spider-Man game. But really, if you think about it, the last time we got this was in Shattered Dimensions, and that was almost 11 years ago. That to me already gives this suit a perfect 10 out of 10. I just love this suit. Honestly, looking at it up close, it makes me love it even more. I get people's complaints like, oh, it's armor plating. But guys, you gotta understand, if this is early on in the game and he just got this suit, imagine it as it was in the Spectacular Spider-Man show. He slowly starts to mold into the suit. The suit starts taking its own appearance. First, it looked like his advanced suit, but then as the game goes on, as the show goes on, it starts getting better and better. So I think with this, that's gonna be the exact same thing. For me, the armor plating kind of just shows how the symbiote protects its host, as it does obviously trick your mind. And actually, fun fact, Insomniac said in the recent blog that in Marvel's Spider-Man 2 we're putting respect on the black suit and giving it the story it deserves. In this installment, we're really delving into Peter's relationship with the symbiote and how it affects those closest to him. Now, I personally love you, Insomniac, for that, because I genuinely miss when we had a good symbiote story, because it's been so long, and the Amazing Spider-Man run isn't doing that any better. Even though it didn't have the symbiote, it doesn't matter. It's not a good Spider-Man story. Now, finally, for the suit, I think the only main complaint I really do have for the suit is at first, it does look like the eyes are a bit weird. But as the trailer goes on, it appears like the emblem, the eyes do get bigger and better, which I do really like that. But at first I was like, oh, I don't know how to feel about the eyes. But other than that, I really do love this suit. I love the extra details on it. I love how gooey and like sticky and just silky it looks. It looks so clean. Finally, the white emblem is back. But let's get into the best part about the black suit. Now, instantly, not even a second to comprehend that the black suit is on screen, he starts popping out tendrils, he starts winging at people, he starts hooking on them. Bro, this man morphed into a venom ball. Like, I kid you not, I couldn't even comprehend that we just saw the black suit and then them going out their way to literally show us these tendrils and stuff is insane. It's literally crazy to me, the fact that they showed all of this in one showcase. The combat and the UI feels so refreshing. I just really love the fact that they are kind of using that Web of Shadows type feel to the combat. I really just love that the symbiote, man, is getting its time to shine. Like, this thing is powerful and Insomniac knows that for a fact. Not only is it powerful, but it affects your emotions. Yuri Lowenthal gives an amazing performance in literally a 10-minute trailer. Not only does he sound mad, furious, and sometimes as calm as he can be with the symbiote suit, it really is giving a deep vibe with the symbiote suit. I genuinely can't appreciate Insomniac enough for the combat. Like, it is beautiful. The tendrils, the takedowns. Like, if I was an enemy and I saw the triangle circle button on top of my head, I just start praying because I'm finished. But genuinely, for some reason, the best part about this combat trailer is not even the tendrils. The fact that Peter throws this guy to the side of the wall and then starts three-piecing him. Like, what the hell? Bro, and then Peter literally just tells these guys to piss off, grabs all four of them with the tendrils, slams them down, and night. One of the features that we all wanted from this game and predicted would come out is the ability to switch between Miles and Peter. Now, Insomniac has confirmed that this game is not co-op but is a single player game, but a lot of us did say just because it is single player doesn't mean that we can't play as many characters. Luckily, the second Miles gets on screen, it switches locations and the game looks absolutely stunning. This is a PS5 exclusive game, so Insomniac is not being held back by any of the PS4 hardware and are going full out using all of the PS5's capabilities, and I genuinely cannot wait to play this on a 4K TV. Immediately, Miles has a new suit that I just want to talk about real quick. Look, I get the fact that Insomniac always wants to Insomniac-fy their suits, even with Peter's suit with the white emblem and everything. I get that. But really, Miles' suit was that suit that I was like, did you really need to change it? Like, this doesn't look bad. It still looks good. But comparing these two, did we seriously need that change? But aside from that nitpick, this is quite literally the best traversal in any Spider-Man game I have seen. And this is not even the full game yet. First of all, you get Slingshot, which we haven't seen since the Amazing Spider-Man 2 game, which let's not even get started on that game because no, it's just no. Then we get literally something that I've been asking for ever since I was a sperm cell. I've wanted Spider-Man's web wings so badly for such a long time, and we finally get to see them. Thank you, Insomniac. Now, real quick before we do continue on the trailer, so as you guys can tell, now that both Peter and Miles are both playable, now you can see a lot of them playing together, and that does mean that there are more skill trees and more stuff to do it, and this is what Insomniac has to say about that. Between Peter's new symbiote abilities and Miles' newfound blue bioelectric powers, each Spider-Man has their own unique set of skills that can be upgraded via all new individual skill trees. Our heroes share technology and train together too. So we also included a shared skill tree that offers parallel upgrades for both. Now, if you do watch the trailer till the very end, you do see that Miles and Peter share a combo together, and I do assume that we will be able to do this together, which is going to be really sick, especially seeing them both do takedowns together. My main question is, will Miles ever be there with Peter as kind of the side character just standing there while we play as Peter? Or is it always just gonna be like, oh, you gotta switch. But getting back into the trailer, Miles' combat is a lot more polished. It's not insanely different, but it is a lot more polished. We do get a lot of new stuff. And quickly, I gotta say, the UI is looking beautiful and really nice to look at for some reason. But then we see the first thing that really did shock me about the stealth. You can finally have a web line that attaches to a wall and you can just walk across it, which is going to be really fun to use, and I really do hope it's not limited and we can just use it the whole time. This is the first time we ever see a dual takedown, and I think it is a great idea. Finally, they do recognize that the stealth does take a bit more time, and they do notice that, like, oh, let's just make it easier for the players so they can enjoy the combat more. But also the best thing about this stealth is that they added this really cool thing that is able to grab all enemies together, and they call it the Web Grabber, a new gadget that pulls enemies together to an isolated spot. This allows Miles to chain one of his new abilities, the Thunderburst, unleashing an electrifying ground pound against a group of foes. And I really do love how they changed Miles' electricity. I do prefer the blue more than the yellow for some reason. I think it just looks visually better, but that is just in my opinion. Also see a glimpse of the chain lightning ability, which has a shocking radius of effect on nearby enemies. It's gonna be really sick to use, and I will have such a difficult time picking between which to play as, Miles or Peter, because they're both gonna be so sick. Again, I gotta give praise to Insomniac and everyone on the developing team for everything they've done with the graphics. Like, literally, it's just Miles walking around, and somehow I'm just astonished and just amazed by the graphics. I genuinely will not be surprised if this is the best looking PS5 game to date. Now, I want to point this out real quick because I forgot to mention it. One thing I said during my reaction is I feel like Kraven is a bit too tech-based in this game, because as someone who kind of grew up reading a lot of the Kraven comics, I am kind of like, don't you think that's a bit too much with the technology? You know, Kraven's supposed to be this really good hunter, and now you give him all these weapons and technology and this whole army. It kind of takes away of that sense of Kraven's like this big, humongous guy that can literally take down any foe in front of him, and it kind of makes it look like, oh, without his army, he's not that strong. And I know that's a nitpick that people will get annoyed by, but I really just do enjoy Kraven when he's a normal hunter and just using stuff like his spear instead of like just technological stuff, you know? Even here, I kind of do have a nitpick where Genki is just in one of these Horizon Forbidden West looking flying robots, and I get it. I don't mind the idea. Obviously, you're gonna have Genki in here because he was in the last game, but it's just weird. Like, all this technology just looks so weird, especially for Kraven the Hunter, which is supposed to be a literal hunter, not a technological based guy. But probably my favorite shot of the entire trailer is when Peter literally jumps down, and I'm thinking to myself, what the hell is that, Venom right there? But no, it's Peter, but for some reason he decides to enter the room in the most menacing way I could ever imagine. Now, a line that sticks out to me here is Miles said, "I like the new threads," and that makes me think that Miles has not even seen the symbiote before, which is gonna be really interesting to see, because now a lot of fan theories are that, oh, Peter's gonna get too out of hand and these two are gonna end up fighting, and I think that will be an actual reality. Now, this is what I mean by Yuri Lowenthal is just perfect for the role. Now, here he's not talking in that angry voice, but you do hear that kind of deepness in him. You notice that he's not talking normally. And Miles kind of catches on to this, and I really do like that. Miles is concerned for Peter as his mentor. But this reunion is cut shortly after the lizard pops out of nowhere and decides to jump out of the fish market. Now, again, I think this is probably gonna be like that big mission like the one we had in the first game with the raft, and again, I just really do love the traversal and everything about it. Picking up from where I mentioned this in the beginning of the video, Peter mentions that Harry is dying, which we have been seeing in the past 2 games, and that Connors is the only one that can help him. Now, I have reason to believe that Connors is the only one that can help him, because obviously Connors was the doctor that was helping him in the Miles post-credit scene. If you remember, Connors was there, but Osborn told him to get Harry out of there. Now, I'm not entirely sure by why necessarily Connors is the one to help them, especially when Connors was basically his doctor the entire time. I'm not sure if Peter's idea is to turn Connors into a lizard, maybe. I'm not entirely sure. That's a really dumb thing to say, but the fact that they had to mention this in the gameplay trailer really gets me curious, and it just gets me so hyped, and I can't wait for this game. Now, one thing I also want to say is the map and the game feels so much bigger for some reason. The fact that they open up Queens for expansion and many more locations, I'm assuming probably the sewers, more inside of buildings, even probably other sides of the map. It's gonna be so sick to see. I personally am just loving everything I'm seeing, from the combat to the traversal to the graphics. It genuinely is solid and perfect right now. Now here we see Peter swinging, which I haven't seen anyone talk about, which Peter's swinging seems to be kind of the same like his first game, which I'm kind of like, come on man, like they're not any new animations. Like there was one new animation that was really sick to see, but other than that I was like, really nothing else. Like you got the symbiote, no cool kind of web swinging, you know, nothing. But luckily the web glider just helps that so much. Here we see Peter's anger kind of get out of the way of his thinking, and we see immediately that the symbiote just protects him. This is, I think, what Insomniac means by the personal depth between the relationship of these two characters, because me personally, the symbiote is a character, so I'm just gonna refer to him as a character, and you just see how the symbiote is going to trick Peter's mind, making Peter think that the symbiote is there to protect him, but it really isn't in actuality. Now here we finally get to see kind of the first look at the lizard, and me personally, I think it looks really cool. I really dig the whole reptile look to it. They didn't decide going with the full comic thing. I know in my reaction I said, oh, I wish it was more comic accurate, but now thinking about it, I really do like it's more reptile-like, but not as goofy and dumb as it was in Spider-Man 3, more photoreal and better looking. Now the gameplay comes to a close with a couple of things. First of all, we get to see something that we've all been wanting to see. Peter and Miles kind of doing their own combo together. They call the alley whoop. And it is basically this thing where Miles shocks a material or anything and Peter just throws it at them. And I think it's a really cool thing to see, and I just can't wait to see more of this in the game. Now here is probably the most menacing we've seen Peter in the entire trailer. We see after the plane has been destroyed and crashes down, Peter throws a civilian. Miles is as confused as we are. Then Miles suggests that we go after the lizard, but Peter says, no, I'll do it myself, and says the most menacing line Yuri Lowenthal has said in the entire trailer, and says, and I quote, "So do I," and it literally just gives me that vibe that this man is gonna be committing so many first-degree murders. Like, bro, the Daily Bugle is gonna be swarming with money after this. Finally, Miles catches on to this, and so does Genki, and they're both worried. And I definitely, we are 100% going to see these two going at it. And I'm sorry, Miles, but you are so dead. But that is the entire 12-minute gameplay plus trailer that they show for the game. It is gonna be fantastic. There's not a confirmed release date, but we do have the Summer Game Fest in a little bit, so maybe we'll get something in there, but I'm assuming we won't because we just got this, and they're probably gonna confirm the release date in a couple of months, because they did say that they are gonna do full-on marketing in August, so that's probably when they're gonna confirm the release date, to say the least. That is everything you need to know about Spider-Man 2 and all my opinions on the recent trailers. How do you guys think of it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? You're somewhere around the middle. Anything and everything down in the comments below. As always, I'm Mr. 4K, and take care.